So it's been a couple of months since I released the Dark Energy plot video. I didn't think that the video would do so well, but to my surprise, it really struck a note with you guys. The discussion has been pretty amazing to watch in the comment section. What's up, Ensign Squad? Alex here, and today we're going to take a deeper look into the Dark Energy plot and if it could possibly return for Mass Effect 4. Now, before we continue, I'm just gonna ask you guys to check my other videos out after you watch this video. I have way too many Mass Effect videos right now, some of them being guides and lore videos. Alright, let's carry on. So for you new fans, I'll just do a recap of what the Dark Energy plot is, or well, was. Back when Mass Effect 2 was still in development, Drew Karpyshyn, who was then BioWare's lead writer, had a few ideas about what the motivations of the Reapers were. Why this was so important was because the Reaper conflict was to be the main focus of the main story, which it still was even if the Dark Energy plot didn't make it. So the plot was essentially about how using Mass Effect technology caused the side effect of speeding up the destruction of the universe. A big crunch or a big rip, so to speak, which are two of the leading theories on what will happen to our universe in the end. Dark energy was the thing that was essentially ripping the universe apart. Now the main motivations of the Reapers was supposed to be that they wanted to stop this from happening. They wanted to halt the end of the universe, and to do this, they needed to figure out the solution.
Our studies of past ages led us to believe that time is cyclical. Many patterns repeat.
Like the Reaper attacks.
And beyond, the same peaks of evolution, the same valleys of dissolution. The same conflicts are expressed in every cycle, but in a different manner.
The solution of theirs was to continuously harvest technological civilizations in order to maybe find a new type of technology, or find a species that would be different enough in their thinking to introduce a solution. Hence why the Reapers were made from entire species. They were saved by being made into Reapers, and each Reaper basically represented a new chance at a solution. So each Reaper would in essence be a chance to save the universe. This would also have been a pretty cool explanation to why Harbinger was so very interested in humanity and Shepard. Here comes a race that not only stops the Reapers in their tracks, but it's not even an entire race, it's one human. If you were a Reaper that was trying to figure out the solution to the universe ending, wouldn't this intrigue you? Imagine an entire species like Shepard. Now the likelihood of finding a solution would be that much higher. Anyway, the difficulty in finding a solution was the fact that the Reapers set up the mass relay network along with the Citadel in order to, as Sovereign puts it, make sure civilizations develop along the paths they desired.
Why would you construct the mass relays, then leave them for someone else to find?
Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire.
So the Reapers sped up the development of galactic civilization, because if they didn't, natural evolution into advanced technology would take far longer for species to develop, perhaps several thousand years more. So here was the conundrum. The mass effect technology, which was the prime motivator of the universe ripping itself apart, is the thing that the Reapers themselves used in order to speed up the development of a solution, aka a new species that could be made into a Reaper. This in turn would almost become similar to the circular logic that the Catalyst used in Mass Effect 3. You know, the whole "we're an AI that's killing you to save you from getting killed by AIs" shtick. Or well, that sentence isn't entirely true, since the extended cut of Mass Effect 3 made some clarifications on that. Here's why I think the Dark Energy plot could have worked though. The thing is, the Reapers might have known that their own technology was killing the universe. But since they didn't have any other solution themselves, they might have just been severely stressed out since they know that they're a part of what's causing it, but in order to stop the process from happening altogether, they needed to make sure that developing species were up to snuff. So they guided the races of the galaxy over and over again, while hiding in dark space. It could have been an interesting dichotomy. The Reapers are the main accelerators of the process, knowingly, but they were trying to stop it entirely. And knowing that natural advancement will lead to Mass Effect technology for every species eventually, the Reapers set up the mass relay network so that they could keep track. Another reason to why the Reapers set up the mass relay network could have been that between cycles, the Reapers saw that the galaxy recovered somewhat from the destabilization. So they decided upon having 50,000 years between each cycle. If we're to believe Drew Karpyshyn himself, the end choice would have been between letting the Reapers harvest humanity in order to find the solution, or saying screw you to the Reapers, destroying them, and the races of the galaxy finding a solution themselves. My own headcanon on what could have happened in the end would have been that Shepard either convinced the Reapers that humanity would find a way themselves, the renegade option, that the Milky Way races would find a way, the Paragon option, or that Shepard agrees to help the Reapers, so a sort of cooperation without becoming a Reaper, which could have been the synthesis ending. Heck, the synthesis ending could really have been the true ending, whereupon joining forces with the Reapers in finding a solution, we might finally have seen the solution come to fruition, depending on the level of your galactic readiness. Just enough for the synthesis ending? Well, the story ends on a hopeful note that the solution can be found. Complete 100% readiness? The story ends with us seeing the solution come to fruition thanks to the cooperation between the Milky Way races and the Reapers. Anyway, since I missed out on this in the last video, I've decided to include the following here. Throughout Mass Effect, you can see sprinkles of the dark energy plot being seeded, especially in Mass Effect 2. The first hint that most of you guys are surely thinking of is the sun that Haestrom orbits. During Tali's recruitment mission in Mass Effect 2, a Quarian science team is worried that Dolan, which is the star, is prematurely turning into a red giant. The Quarians and Tali theorize that the dark energy is destabilizing it by reducing the mass of its interior. What they didn't know was whether it was being affected artificially or by natural processes, and if the dark energy plot is to be believed, it would have been both.
It's next to impossible to get accurate solar measurements. The radiation keeps burning out our equipment. This sun shouldn't be like this. It was stable a few hundred years ago. Stars don't die that quickly.
What is this research you're after?
It's about this world's sun. It's aging faster than it should.
Dark energy is also explored more during Arrival, where it's explained that Object Rho, which is sort of a Reaper communications array, utilizes huge amounts of dark energy to maintain itself. The Alpha Relay also uses extreme amounts of dark energy in order to send starships to 16 other relays. The discovery of the Collector studying humanity's genetic diversity also slightly hinted at the dark energy plot, whereupon they might have looked for signs of humanity's potential to find a solution. So hey, could we see some form of the dark energy plot take place in the next Mass Effect? Well, before I answer that question, I'm just gonna say this. Take my theories with a grain of salt. BioWare has no connection to me, and they have no obligation to anyone when it comes to their story structure. So despite what you think of my speculation, don't assume that you'll see any of it in the future games, because it probably won't. I'm 99% certain of that. But here's my 2 cents anyway. Since BioWare has already sprinkled elements of the dark energy plot throughout Mass Effect, having it being a sort of tease of what's next to come could be incredibly smart. The first Mass Effect trilogy deals with AI and the issue of synthetics versus organics. Alright, cool. The second trilogy could up the stakes somewhat, dealing with galactic or universal destruction. Now, of course, BioWare hasn't stated that Mass Effect will have another trilogy, but it wouldn't surprise me. Speaking for myself, I'm not really in it for one more standalone game. I'm in it for the long haul. So what could this story be about? Who knows, but it could circle around our new villain trying to find a way to stop the process of dark energy destroying the universe, but through monstrous means. Or it could be about our new protagonist, or even Shepard if he or she lives, searching for a solution. Considering that Shepard already happened upon these hints on Haestrom or on the Collector ship, it could be interesting to see Shepard reacting to this new threat that lingers on the horizon. Maybe the dark energy issue is extragalactic, meaning that it's taking place across the entire universe. And suddenly, the whole thing turns into Gurren Lagann and we start throwing galaxies at each other. Whatever Mass Effect 4 is about, we'll probably not know for a while. I do still think that the elements of the plot has potential, especially since it plays on the name of the franchise itself, the Mass Effect. Thank you guys again for watching, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, leave them down in the comments below. This can be about any game really, and I'm interested in exploring new stuff. Have a great day, Sven Squad. Mr. Holton out.